to go after Udayant there. If his startup is young and mid-size, we are practically just born. So we are very young, yes. We are just about 3 years old now. We started Aether fairly fresh out of college. We graduated from IIT Madras in 2012, both the co-founders. And in many ways, we were also a garage startup. In fact, the first year was almost not a startup. So what we did was we left our jobs and we came back to our university and said, we're very excited about electric vehicles. We're very excited about lithium-ion batteries. We want to build stuff, right? We sense a great opportunity to build a product. Can you help us out? So the university helped out. We came back. We weren't even building a business. We were just doing engineering. And since we're students of product design, we looked at it from that perspective. A little somewhere down the line, we figured that there is a very large opportunity for well-designed electric vehicles in the country. And there's an opportunity in the approach that we can take. So our view here is that Make in India is super important, and that's very important to for our GDP, for all the employment, everything. But probably the step, even before you get to Make in India, is probably design in India, right? So it's very critical to take control of engineering, to take control of design, to take control of R&D, and build those competencies in here locally. Otherwise, we run the risk of just becoming a manufacturing ecosystem, right? We already have a good manufacturing ecosystem, right? But design, engineering, right? IP, innovation, that's where, though it won't probably create a lot of employment, but that's probably the genesis of, a very strong economy. So our approach was, and our view was, that what this country, what the market really needs is a very well-designed product, designed in India by us for this ecosystem. So we looked at the products and said that maybe what we need to build is something that's an order of magnitude better than what exists out in the market. So as the slide will say, this is what we are building. It's called the Aether S340. It's our first product. It's completely designed and built in here in India. To build this, we have laid out a whole, we have vertically integrated ourselves, which means we're building our own lithium-ion battery packs, right from design to assembly to manufacturing, the entire process. Battery management systems, chargers, the fancy dashboard that you see, which is a touch screen and runs Google Maps and a whole host of other features, the software for it, the vehicle styling, vehicle dynamics, whole lot of stuff, the onboard charger. To us, this product, which is yet to be released, by the way, we just unveiled it last year, and right now we're in the midst of a whole bunch of testing. We have just clocked 10,000 kilometers with it. We are looking at releasing this after we get to about 100,000 kilometers of testing. To us, this first product is a platform to demonstrate and get experience on all different subsystems, right? Get experience as an OEM, get experience as a company, get experience on all the pieces of technology, and hopefully lay down the foundation of a very, very strong product company for the coming decades. We moved to Bangalore about two and a half years back, and I'm very glad we moved here. Just as Udayant was mentioning, it's something cultural. So even when we were not in Bangalore, we would make a lot of, I would personally make a lot of trips here because, well, you were fundraising and all the investors were here. But, but what we started noticing was more than the investors, what was really happening is everywhere else in the country, right? Whether you go to Delhi, whether you go to Mumbai, anywhere, right? It's not specific cities. You would get a little bit of healthy skepticism. So, and our pitch was also a little out of the way. We would basically say, hey, we want to build vehicles. We're starting an automotive company and we'll build everything. Right? So that's the pitch fundamentally, right? So that's what you're going to do. It'll take probably 10 years. Everywhere else, we would be told, well, that's not how you go about it. Build the BMS, then build the battery, build a business out of it, then maybe get to step by step, move your way to a scooter and then a bike. While in Bangalore, everybody like, yes, that's the way to go it, right? That sounds very exciting. That's how you should build it. So it was very natural for us to come here. We are setting up our manufacturing here, and if everything goes to plan, we should be in production and shipping by early next year. Right? That's it. I look forward to the panel discussion.
Thank you, Tarun. That's very inspiring. I think, I'm sure many in the audience look forward to getting a ride on that scooter sometime soon.
You can pre-order the vehicle on our website.
Very good. He's always selling, as you could tell. So next up is Mayur Abhay. And Mayur, please tell us a little bit about what you're doing at LifeCell.
Yes, Ravi, thanks. So we're a stem cell solutions provider. At the moment, we preserve stem cells right when the child is born. Within 10 minutes of birth, we collect the umbilical cord blood stem cells and preserve it for potential future use. This is used for treatment of critical medical conditions like leukemias, myelomas, lymphomas. About 80 plus stem cell transplants happen, 80 plus diseases for which stem cell transplants happen. Though we're a 10-year-old plus company, in the age of digital disruption, we believe we're a startup. I've moved our operations from Chennai to Bangalore about 2 years back. We've set up a digital team. We're reimagining also the space of infant healthcare, especially vaccinations. How currently there is a large issue with getting an appointment for a vaccination, getting a prescription, traveling from home, waiting out there at the clinic, not getting a choice in the vaccines, and not getting a proper bill. We think we can do all of it through an Uber-style model. So through a digital process, we will solve that problem, and while we solve the problem of finding a stem cell transplant for everybody. We got funded recently, 3 years back, by Helion Ventures. Thanks, Ravi.
So, when I was reviewing all the startups, I said, okay, so how is this related to manufacturing? But actually, you're involved in the manufacturing of human beings, right? A little bit in the future, and fixing us and MRO and all of that downstream. So, I think it fits right in. Next up is Rajesh Manpat, and he's building a very interesting robot for warehousing, manufacturing, everything. So, Rajesh, please tell us a little bit about your product.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. So we started in 2016. So even prior before that, I was involved in industrial automation for almost 10 years. And I've built products for quality control automation. And so I kept reading about the booming sector, which is e-commerce. And I also read about a lot of skepticism coming along with it, that how these guys will make money, how will they be able to compete with retail. And so I looked at certain areas where they can optimize cost, and especially with automation, you need a certain scale before it actually starts to do better than the manpower oriented processes. So we decided to build a robot which is very customized to Indian setup of the labor costs that we have, as well as the inefficiencies that we have in our own system. So I came up with Arc Robot, which moves inventory from locations of storage, within warehouses, and it would then bring it and deliver it in containers to areas where people can then pick quantities of this product. So you can imagine in a large warehouse, a person is giving you about 50 picks per day, and then they double the size of warehouse, and it goes down to 25 or probably even below that because of the fatigue and other reasons. This industry also faces a lot of attrition because people have to lift a lot of load. So a lot of health related issues also happen to these workforce. So robots are actually meant for this kind of task where they can do better than human being, and as well as relieve human beings to do more value added tasks. So we started developing this and launched it in 2016. So we were also one of the Make in India winners among 500 tech startups last year. And through that, Qualcomm is also an investor in our company. We now get access to all the embedded systems of Qualcomm, and we upgrade that in our robot. And we have an assembly location based in Bangalore. And so I'm the original Bangalorean. My family comes back from the 1800s, so I've been here forever. So I've been able to leverage the ecosystem of Bangalore, also the people coming into Bangalore, a lot of engineering talent that we are finding, which is non-Bangalorean originally, but now we've been able to leverage on that. We are a 30-member team size today, and we are looking to automate not only the e-commerce sector, but also the factory floors where parts have to be delivered to assembly lines on time, where there are also inefficiencies. So all these sectors are set for disruption with all sorts of automation coming in, as well as the machines getting more intelligent. So over the next 5 years, we are looking at scaling up, horizontally as well. We are going to choose sectors which badly need automation to get cost competitive with their market and with their customers. So that's what ArcRobot is.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh. So, next up is Amulik. I met Amulik the first time at an alumni event where he was still a corporate executive. And he told me, I've just quit and I'm starting a chai business. And I remember seeing the first one in Cambridge Layout. It was a little hovel of a place. And, he's now today a big chain. So I think you got the label of the second chaiwala, the biggest. So welcome, Amulik. Please tell us a little bit about your journey.
So thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here. The passion for starting Chai Point came out of interest of creating a meaningful consumer brand. Over a period of time, as we built the stores and started appreciating the business more, we realized that it's just more than a product. Tea is a state of mind. It's a very emotional beverage here in the country. Slowly, we started appreciating that the size of the market is massive. To give you some context, the loose leaf tea market is around 25,000 crores in India, and there are a lot of listed companies who've been selling tea for decades. But it's only recently that people have started tracking the chai beverage market. That, it turns out, is 1.5 lakh crores, which is about $20 billion. And it's growing at a CAGR of 23 to 24%, which means that it will be 4.5 lakh crores. I'm here including the whole set of roadside chaiwalas to 5 stars, the full spectrum of chai. By 2020, 4.5 lakh crores. To give you some more interesting stats, an average Indian spends about 106 rupees per month on chai. South India and Western India has the highest spend, equal spend of 146 rupees per person on a monthly basis. Our excitement around Chai Point is to fix the last mile access for tea which is broken. So I gave you a sense of the scale, but for reasons which are varied, the last mile access point for chai or the ready beverage was broken. If you expected shops, you thought there should be roadside shanties. In fact, you started romanticizing roadside shanty chai, right? You accepted dirt as a part of the whole experience, noise pollution as a part of the experience, right? In corporates, you thought that tea bag is the only option which is available. But over a period of time, we have gone about to change that notion. We see ourselves fundamentally as an omni-channel brand, which is trying to fix the broken mile, the last mile for chai. Stores here play a very important part, and designing stores which are not just good, but also very intelligently designed is a big part of it. We were the first ones in the country to create a heat-retaining use and throw flask, which now is being used across the sector by lots of other companies, because the concept of delivery of chai is also decades old. From by-lanes of small bazaars to, multi-story buildings in Mumbai, you have chai getting delivered. Then about less than a year ago, we designed, along with a manufacturer here in India, the patent is held by us, a 100% automatic IoT-based chai and filter coffee dispenser. And there are coffee dispensers which have been doing great, but chai, which is 15 times. So for every cup of coffee that is consumed in India, there are 15 cups of chai, right? And again, we realized that the last mile access for chai in corporates and offices was completely broken. So that led to the platform called Boxy. I think here you see image of the dispensers. But Boxy.in is essentially a cloud-based beverage services platform. Machines are IoT enabled. They talk about their health. They talk about their consumption patterns so that companies who spend literally lakhs and crores on an annual basis on chai and coffee for their employees get a sense of transparency around the entire consumption. We're also now an ISO 22000 certified company. Lots of our stores are, every new store is getting there. But fundamentally, an omni-channel company. And we're also really grateful that we are based out of Bangalore. This whole aspect of giving technology as an element to a business, which is, chai is a 4,000-year-old beverage, by the way, could have happened only here in Bangalore. So we always thank our stars that we began our journey out here. And we are literally at the start of the journey, considering the market and the problem that this sector has. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amelik. I think all the folks who are patiently standing at the, at the edges will look forward to a chai soon. So, lunch and chai. Very good. So next up, we have Anand, who's going to tell us a little bit about a device that brings a lot of